Okay, so when we look at the formula for AK, we're going to be taking, again, the integral from 0 to 2 pi, and this time we have f of x times cosine of kx as our integrand. Notice, again, that we have that between pi and 2 pi, f of x is equal to 0. So this is 1 over pi times the integral from 0 to pi of f of x times cosine of kx. Because when f is equal to 0, f of x times cosine of x is equal to 0. So there's no contribution to the integral there. Okay, so we can rewrite AK as 1 over pi times the integral from 0 to pi of x squared times cosine of kx. All right, it's been a while. To calculate this kind of integral, we're going to use integration by parts because we have a product of two kind of unrelated functions. So just to make this easier for writing out, I'm going to use tabular integration. So u is equal to x squared, dv is equal to cosine of kx. I'm going to differentiate x squared and integrate cosine of kx. So we get 2x, 2, and 0. And cosine of kx integrates to sine of kx over k. And sine of kx over k integrates to negative cosine of kx over k squared. And negative cosine of kx over k squared integrates to negative sine of kx over k cubed. Okay. So our integral is 1 over pi times, okay, so we do plus, minus, 1 over pi times x squared sine of kx over k minus 2x times negative cosine of kx over k squared plus 2 times negative sine of kx over k cubed. And what's left over is an integral where one of the terms that we're multiplying by is 0. So that's it. Okay, so this is our form for our antiderivative. If we plug in pi, we see that all of these sine terms are going to be equal to 0. And if we plug in 0, all the sine terms are also equal to 0. So we can simplify this guy down to be 1 over pi times negative 2 pi times negative cosine of k pi over k squared minus, so the only term left over is the cosine one, but when we plug in 0, we get 2 times 0 times the negative cosine of 0 over k squared. And so our AK is equal to 2 pi times, so this simplifies down to 2 pi cosine of k pi over pi times k squared. So I'm just simplifying this first term here. Okay, so that we've got two negatives, those go away. On top we have 2 pi and cosine of k pi. On the bottom we have a pi and a cosine, and a k squared. All right, and we can simplify this guy, just a little bit. So we get 2 cosine of k pi over pi, nope, over just k squared. So what that means is that now we can write in what A1, A2, and A3 are. So A1 is 2 cosine of pi over 1 squared. Okay, so that's -2. A2 is 2 cosine of 2 pi over 2 squared. All right, so that's 1/2. And A3 is equal to 2 cosine of 3 pi over 3 squared. And that's equal to -2/9. Awesome. Now let's look at BK.